Coming to you live and direct from our News First studios here in Colombo on TV1. Hello and good evening. This is Primetime News. I am Shaheen Durangpati.
And I'm Jitendra Gunasena. Let's start off with the headlines.
Headlines. Main sponsor.
Royal Institute of Colombo. Excellence in Higher Education.
Minister Ravi Karunanayake appears before the Presidential Commission. Ravi Karunanayake claimed no knowledge of apartment lease. Newsfirst reveals the details of Mohandan Kanage's salary. The right information failed to disclose. The Cabinet approves 20th Amendment to the Constitution, which states that the local government election will be held in one day. Ministry of Home Affairs orders district secretaries to organize events marking the Prime Minister's 40 years of public service.
Hambantota Port Agreement was the key topic of discussion at the weekly Cabinet media briefing today.
එමෙතන වරාය ගිවිසුම සම්බන්ධයෙන් මේ ජනාධිපතිවරයා සහ වරාය සේවක සංඝ මේ පැවති සාකච්ඡාවෙන් පසු ජනාධිපතිවරයා එකඟ වුණාවලු මේ ගිවිසුම නැවත සංශෝධනය කරන්න. එහෙම කරන්න පුළුවන්ද?
නෑ ඒ ගිවිසුම එක
There's a clause in the agreement it could be amended, which is why the agreement was tabled in Cabinet and then to Parliament, so amendments could be made if any important proposals came forward. But apart from panicking and running away, the opposition didn't really put any important proposal forward. I must clearly say that this was operated by some embassy because from there on it was entirely sabotaged. We lost the perfect opportunity.
හොඳම අවස්ථාව උන් පැහැර ඇරියා.
එමෙතුම ඔබතුමා මේ කිව්වා මේ විදේශ තානාපති කාර්යාලයකින් මේක මෙහෙව්වා කියලා අර කඩාකප්පල් කිරීම ඇයි එම කියන්නේ?
තොරතුරු තියෙනවා.
We have information of who was contacted, but I cannot disclose that information here. I believe that this was started together with that minister because there was no reason to create an issue like this.
කිම වෙලාවක එතන තිබුණ නෑ.
අපේ දැදරමතුමා මේ චුට්ටක් කියන්න බැරිද අර රට මේ මම අහන්න ඔබතුමාගේ නම කිට්ටු රටක්ද දුර රටක්ද එම්බසි එක?
You must ask it if it is a small country or a big country. Well, you can ask it from them. I can tell you who got the call out, but not here.
පොඩි ක්ලූ එක අපි නම නම් අහන්න ඔබතුමාට කියන්නත් එපා මේ පොඩි ක්ලූ එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් නම්.
ඉතින් ඔබතුමාලා
You know very well who it was.
Former Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake arrived at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry this morning. We now cross over to the News First Centre for an elaborative details on the matter.
The situation at the Commission of Inquiry with regard to the bond issuance has been heating up for the past 70 plus days, and for these 70 plus days we have had our very own reporter at the Presidential Commission bringing us the insight of what is actually happening. Zulfiq Farsan has been there for the past 70 days. Zulfiq, what happened today? What did Minister Ravi Karunanayake have to say about the apartment complex that he has?
Well, the apartment that Ravi Karunanayake lives in Monarch Residence in Colombo 3 was the question today. From where did the money come from to buy this apartment and who paid the lease for this apartment? Now, when he was questioned, Minister Ravi Karunanayake said that he did not get involved in the selection process of this particular apartment, which is an amalgamation of 2 units in the 5th floor of Monarch Residency. Now, he said that until late 2016, he did not know that his wife had inspected the apartment along with Eugen Aloysius, and that it was in fact Eugen Aloysius who had negotiated the lease agreement with the owner, Anika Vijayasuriya, and the party that signed the lease agreement, Walter and Rowe Associates Private Limited. Now, Walter and Rowe Associates Private Limited lists Eugen Aloysius and Jeffrey Aloysius as directors in the company. Now, Eugen Aloysius is also connected to Perpetual Treasuries. Now, Ravi Karunanayake said that he was only told about the rent that is paid for this apartment after they went into occupation. Now, when speaking on the rent payments, Karunanayake's family members who also are directors of the company called Global Transportation and Logistics.
That Zulfiq is the wife and the daughter of
Mr. Karunanayake. They had made payments to the accountant of Walt and Rowe Associates Private Limited, but the minister said that he was not aware of that until sometime later on. Now, he also was not aware that Arjun Aloysius in fact was the person who negotiated the lease agreement. Now, speaking on the purchase of this apartment, Karunanayake said that the negotiating and the purchase of this particular apartment was done by Global Transportation and Logistics Private Limited, and he was informed about that by his family members later on in 2016. Now, Karunanayake said that the apartment comprises of an area of 1,900 square feet. Now, this raised eyebrows among the members of the commission because the Chief Financial Officer of GTL, Brian Sinnaya, when testifying before the commission, he said that his apartment was in fact 4,000 square feet. The area is 4,000 square feet, but Mr. Ravi Karunanayake insisted that it's 1,900 square feet, and
this is more than double the size of the initial revelation.
And then Ravi Karunanayake said he requested the commission to even in fact go to his apartment and see the area in question, but the commission said that the lease agreement, the transfer of title deeds also show that 4,000 square feet is listed as the area of this particular apartment. Now, at one point, the commission told the minister, that is Justice Prasanna Jayawardena told the minister, that if he cannot identify 4,000 square feet, it is a good thing that he is not even the finance minister. But that was something that was a light note on that point. Now, the minister claimed that the payment of this apartment was done by the funds and money collected by his daughter, who is the director of GTL. Now, the commission pointed out that a previous witness had testified, that is Brian Sinnaya had testified, that they entered into loans to purchase this apartment, and then the repayment of these loans were used, the cash was found using the money deposited by the chairman of this company GTL, Lakshmi Kanthan, who in fact has deposited money in the safe of the company.
Right.
Now, he was asked by the commission, wasn't your family aware that Perpetual Capital Holdings, Perpetual Treasuries Limited and the distillery that is affiliated to it, these all come under certain scope that comes under the finance minister, like excise, customs and treasuries and finances? And he said the family was not aware of these concerns. And at the latter stage of today's proceedings, the commission asked Minister Ravi Karunanayake a very serious question. They asked him, do you seriously want us to believe that your family did not tell you there was no lease agreement on this particular apartment? The minister replied, it was all done by his family, and he was not involved because he in fact said that his main obligations were towards the nation, and he was at the ministry from 7 to 11 in the night, so that he had no time to get involved in these things.
Zulfiq, let me interrupt you there. Now, Zulfiq, you have been there at the commission for the past 70 plus days. You have been reporting to us every single day as to what happened continuously. We remember recently Mr. Arjun Aloysius handing over his communication devices, and there was a news alert. You in fact reported that he has been trying to go into his Apple account using his wife's mobile. Is there an update with regard to his mobile phone and any data that was inside his mobile phone?
Yes, Chaturanga, there's a very important report on that particular matter. Now, today, the Attorney General's Department furnished text messages extracted from the mobile phone of Arjun Aloysius.
Right.
Now, this is very important, is that it is the first time that data extracted from a mobile phone by an expert from the forensics investigation laboratory of the CID was moved away from the custody of the CID and the Attorney General's Department. Now, this data collected from Arjun Aloysius' phone compiles a massive list pages of 8,600 pages.
8,600 pages.
So only pages that are of concern were given to the attorneys representing Arjun Aloysius, that is President's Counsel Anuj Premaratna and President's Counsel Rienzi Ausakularatna, who is representing Minister Ravi Karunanayake. Now, these messages were read out in open court today, right. Some of these messages. Now, one particular message is from a person called Ruwan Garlage. It refers to a payment of 3 million rupees that has been promised by Arjun Aloysius 6 weeks ago at the time of sending. And it says that employees at the Leader newspaper are refusing to work because they have not received the money as yet. Then another text message is from a person called Neil De Silva. And this person says that there is a default loan from Bank of Ceylon, and Bank of Ceylon's lawyer has threatened to go to court, and there was a request if there can be an involvement to prevent this lawyer from going to courts. And then there's another text message from Arjun Aloysius' Executive Secretary Steve Samuel, who is reminding Arjun Aloysius to remind the PM and RK to obtain the Monetary Board minutes of November 2016.
Who is referred to here as RK?
That's an important question, Chaturanga. Whenever the name RK came up in these messages, the Attorney General's Department asked Ravi Karunanika, who is RK? Does it refer to you? And Ravi Karunanika said that he's only referred to as Ravi and Karu, and he does not know who RK is referred to as, and PM could be someone else or even the Prime Minister, because that's a acronym used there. And then another text by Steve Samuel referred to a name Anjali, and when Karunanika was asked, do you know this person? He said it could be anyone, so he doesn't know who this person is. Right. But coincidentally, Arjun Aloysius is married to Arjuna Mahendran's daughter, who also has the name Anjali Mahendran. And this was raised when he was asked if Ravi Karunanika had attended the wedding of Arjun Aloysius, and if he could name who are the other personalities he had seen at this particular wedding. Another text message is about a person.
So, Zulfi, let me get one point clear there. So, the minister at one point said that he does not know who Anjali is, and at the second time when the Aegis department questioned him, he had to accept that in fact he had been at the wedding of a person called Anjali Mahendran, who is the daughter of the former governor.
Arjuna Mahendran. And then there was another text message that was read out at the commission today. Now this is a very important text message. Now this refers to a person hired by this individual named Kasun to their radio. And this sends concerns that the person hired, Kapila Prasanna, is not good for Arjun Aloysius, PTL and Ravi K, and that the sender had shown some concerns regarding this person.
You mentioned your radio there. Yes. So that is what the text says, your radio.
That is what the text says, it says your radio. And one final text. Now this is a deleted message that has been recovered by the CID, and it says that social media is a powerful weapon and they need approval from Aloysius to form a gossip column so that they can give more support to PM and Honorable Ravi K.
Thank you, Zulfiq, for that valuable update from the Bond Commission and its proceedings today. Minister Ravi Karunanika came out of the Bond Commission and spoke to you and the media that was present. We'll have a listen to what he had to say.
The media accuses us without any proof. Now we have been able to prove our innocence. The people at the Attorney General's Department are trying to tarnish our character and reach high positions. We came promising good governance. I am a person who has worked a lot to uphold that. I ask anyone. I have worked as the Finance Minister for 1.5 years. Did anyone have to pay any money to the Minister or the officials at the Ministry? It is sad what friends do. The truth will come to light. It cannot be swept under the carpet. The party says you should resign from your ministerial portfolio.
English too.
Now, the meeting to announce cabinet decisions also focused on the Commission of Inquiry.
We are waiting to see what Minister Ravi Karunanika has to say today. The joint opposition says that it will move a motion of no confidence. What will happen then?
We have to first hear what he has to say from his point. The points are all from the opposite side still. We will go today and present facts. Then we as a government and his party can decide what needs to be done.
What is the stance of the SLFP? You had said that you will raise both your hands for this.
The SLFP has not reached any decision as yet. Deputy Minister Ajit P. Pereira made a revelation that there is a procedure within the government to weaken the process of punishing the corrupt. The Deputy Minister made this statement while joining the Satana political program on our sister channel, Sirsa TV, last night.
There was a discussion in the cabinet as well that a special court must be established to investigate fraud and corruption. But why isn't this coming out? What is the reason?
Ask him. There is no need to establish a new court for this. There is a judicial system in our country which follows a special mechanism. This case can be heard before a trial at bar. There is just one appeal which only the Supreme can hear it, and it can hear it fast. So we have on countless times requested that this mechanism be used. The Justice Minister must act with responsibility, but he has not taken a proper measure in this regard. Several MPs who are accused of these charges made fun of me over these charges in Parliament, that we are dragging this case for 3 years. They are under the impression that they can come into the government. Even though the people of this country are unhappy with us, it doesn't mean that they are happy with that group either. On the first day, this group requested for 6 months. So when you postpone a case like this for 5 days, the 3 years will pass. The government must have the political determination to not allow this to happen. This determination cannot be implemented because of the judiciary. There are 30 to 40 other MPs in our party who share the same view as me. I have personally addressed this matter to the President and the Prime Minister, but the subject minister has no determination.
Parliamentarian C.B. Ratnayaka commented on the bond transactions today.
We have suggested that a special judiciary be established. He must be aware, since he is in the same party, whether they Let's speak about what these people have done. Very soon everything like the houses which were given to the people who spoke about this matter like Sujiva Senasinghe and Ajit Pereira. The mastermind behind all of this is the man with the clean suit on, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. You may think that I am saying this out of hate, but all of this might come out tomorrow. Arjun Aloysius might get ready to reveal everything if he is not protected.
News First is now in possession of the salary particulars of the CEO of the Information Communication Technology Agency, Muhundan Kanage, which we could not initially receive through a right to information request.
Muhundan Kanage, Chief Executive Officer of the Information Communication Technology Agency, also known as ICTA. The Google Loan Project, the eNIC Project and the National Payment Platform Project are few of the several failed initiatives headed by him. Muhundan Kanage took up this position for a contract of 1 year. This is the contract that he reached with the chairperson of the ICTA on the 11th of February 2015. According to this document, his monthly salary is 755,000. Muhundan Kanage is expected to work for a minimum of 3 working days per week. In addition, he receives a transport arrangement, a fuel allowance, a life cover, an accident cover and a medical insurance for him and his family. If his salary is divided by 30 days of a month, his daily salary would be 25,167.
While the country wastes billions of the taxpayers' money on unsuccessful projects, many Sri Lankans across the island live under harsh conditions.
Newsfirst's national campaign towards building a Sri Lanka free of corruption commenced in the districts of Jaffna and Monaragala. It came to light that certain youth in the Jaffna district had to pay money to obtain employment owing to the actions of corrupt officials.
We were promised employment. They asked us for money. If we don't have money, we wouldn't seek employment.
They should invest the billions wasted on unnecessary projects and use those funds to aid us.
The corrupt do whatever they need with our funds. The corrupt need to be chased away.
Access to clean drinking water is the request of residents living in the Mandathiv island. Newsfirst also visited the family of Sivaloganathan Vidya, who was brutally raped and murdered. The team in Monaragala commenced their journey from Vallabhaya today.
The containers are placed by a former chairman of the Pradesh Sabha. This land belongs to the Pradesh Sabha. This is the misuse of public property. Sugar containers arrive, however those are filled with drugs. They say that Velasudha is behind this, however the government takes no action.
Later our team met with a group of sugarcane farmers in the Varana village in Vallabhaya.
It's been 5 years, however no construction has taken place yet.
Royal Sword or Kastana, which President Maithripala Sirisena received as a gift during his recent visit to Russia, was presented to the National Museum today.
The artifact was gifted to President Maithripala Sirisena by Russian President Vladimir Putin as a token of appreciation to symbolize the close relationship between the two countries. The sword was presented to the National Museum at a ceremony today with the objective of declaring it a national heritage. The ceremony was held under the auspices of the President and was attended by several public representatives. This morning, the awarding of certificates to the 5th batch of the Diploma course on Media Studies and Journalism conducted by the Sri Lanka Press Council was held under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena at the BMICH today.
The fearful suppression of the media during the previous administration was such that 13 journalists were killed during this period. 4 media institutions, Lanka E-News, Sirasa, the Daily Mirror and Siyata were attacked. Many more media institutions were threatened by the Rajapaksa family. Investigations into the assassination of the editor of the Sunday Leader, Lasantha Wickrematunge, are underway, where it is being revealed that those who were responsible to the government are directly involved in the murder. The media was suppressed in the south concerning Keet Noya and Podala Jayantha in the north. Compared to that fearful era, there have been massive changes which have taken place today, the end to the media suppression being the key.
ලක්වෙලා තියෙනවා ප්‍රධානතම දේ තමයි මාධ්‍ය මර්ධනයට තිත තැබීම.
A letter dated 27th of July 2017 was sent out to all district secretaries from Neil D. Alves, Secretary at the Ministry of Home Affairs and a senior personality in the administration service. The letter, with an urgent tag on top, requests all district secretaries to organize spirit chanting at the secretariats and almsgiving for 40 monks at all of these secretariats. The religious celebrations are for the completion of 40 years of public service by the Prime Minister. In addition, all district secretariats should hold 4 Bodhi Pujas. The Secretary to the Ministry of Home Affairs has asked the district secretaries to obtain the support of area residents.
Transparency International Sri Lanka have also commented on this directive by the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Transparency International Sri Lanka says while celebrating public service is not to be ignored, given the scale of what is being planned, TISL respectfully requests the Honourable Prime Minister to instruct the cancellation of these celebrations or alternatively organise such celebrations without public resources, human or monetary. TISL wishes to remind the authorities concerned that using public resources for personal gain amounts to corruption and that it runs counter to the spirit of good governance. The procession to celebrate the Hindu Adivel festival in honour of Lord Muruga commenced from Point Pedro this morning. The procession is organised together with the MTV-MBC Media Network.
The vehicular procession carrying a replica of the veil from Tiruchendur, a golden spear of the deity, commenced following religious observances at the Selva Sannidhi Kovil in Velvatithurai. The procession is scheduled to reach the Sri Siva Subramania Kovil in Jinthupitiya, Colombo on Friday the 4th. On Saturday the 5th, the procession will arrive at the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited head office in Braybrook Place, Colombo 2. Many religious programs and a musical show will be held on that day at the head office premises. A special puja will also be held to invoke blessings on students sitting for the Grade 5 scholarship examination this year. All devotees are invited for the celebration, which will comprise of local and South Indian musicians as well as dancers.
Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka speaking on the sidelines of the award ceremony of Chinese Government Scholarship 2017 and 18 says Chinese project in Sri Lanka needs skilled and qualified labourers.
Sri Lanka is number one gets financial assistance from China. I talk about donation, grants. Every year, $100 million. So, you see what happened in Port City. What happened 7 days ago about Hamman Port. Port is nothing. If we have no zone, economic zone, how to raise the development level of Sri Lanka? So Sri Lanka needs industrialization. Industrial zone is the best way If we talk about the Hambantot port, some people talk with me, there are about 500 works right now, the first loss of the job. I said no, 500 is not enough. We need 50,000. But it must be qualified. So this is the issue. We lack of qualified works. We are lack of qualified professionals. So China will fully support Sri Lanka in education, in science and technology, not only in economics.
Making his first public appearance since being appointed as Secretary to the President, Austin Fernando spoke on the critical factors of management at an event held in Colombo yesterday.
Some think that managing is an easy task. Some who are in family business may be thinking that blood or other closeness is the best means to manage. Even in government, we have observed that some have tried to run it like a family business. My experience is that managing is a complex challenge requiring extremely complex skills that need to be refined over time. The need is for good governance implying accountability, transparency, rule of law, cooperation and some such qualities. These are required for good governance. Yahapalne they call it these days. Of course, this terminology Yahapalne has been pithily prostituted now on roadsides for every minor failure in administration by placard-carrying individuals.
Secretary Austin Fernando was speaking at the launch of the CMI Management Excellence Awards 2017 of the Chartered Management Institute UK Sri Lanka branch. Neil Kavanagh, the first Secretary Political of the British High Commission in Colombo, attended the event as a special guest of honour.
An event presided over by Minister of Housing and Construction Sajid Premadasa was held today to distribute concessionary loans for the construction of model villages in the Ratnapura district under the Shrama Shakti housing program.
Cheques for housing loans were donated to 600 families under the program. A group including Minister of Foreign Employment Thalata Atukorala and Deputy Minister Dinesh Gankanda who were present for the occasion. Before the end of this year, there will definitely be 500 model villages in the country. In the name of Ranasinghe Premadasa, I promise to you that 2,500 model villages will be built in the country within the next 3 years. To the former president, who says that this government has not even constructed a drain, I ask, what did you do to the remaining funds allocated for the war?
A program organised to mark the 250th Newsfirst classroom workshop was held at the Uhumiya D.S. Senanayake Central College in Kurunegala today.
Several guest speakers representing the top management of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited attended the workshop. Creating communicators the country needs is the objective of this workshop. The program focused on educating the students on media, communication skills and new media as well as developing their skills. Over 300 students took part in this workshop. Sirius FM also joined hands in the program to provide the required knowledge and skills to the students.
Sri Lankan Test captain Dinesh Chandimal, who will be returning to the side for the second test against India, says his batsmen should play with more responsibility.
The wicket is quite dry. Malinda Pushpakumara is most likely to play in tomorrow's game, while Dhananjay De Silva is also likely to be included into playing the first 11 in place of injured Asela Gunaratne. We have a plan and we may have to take certain risks. So we as batsmen must know at which period this risk must be taken.
We always name 12 anyway in our meetings. So if looking at things in the morning, if the wicket sort of changes, in today's time, if some changes are made or something like that, then we take a call in the morning. But according to what we've seen the wicket, we already have a combination in mind. So we'll discuss those things further when we see the wicket tomorrow morning maybe.
India currently lead 3-match test series 1-0 after having beaten Sri Lanka comfortably in the first test in Galle by 304 runs.
Well, that's all the news we have for you tonight. For the News First team, I'm Jitendra Gunasena.
Thank you very much for watching. I'm Shahin Jirampati. Good night and take care.